Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming here for my presentation. So we can start, I think. Imagine all hands or town hall in your company, and you start hearing something like speed of delivery is poor. I'm pretty sure that many of you had a chance to hear something like that. Some of you probably from CEO, CTO, or the other people in the company. It is probably very popular. And imagine that the same CEO is starting to say that we are kind of product company, the company that needs to be successful, we need to speed up with everything what we are trying to do, test hypotheses faster, do more experiments, etc., etc. It is a very difficult topic because in my case, it is a real story. In my case, I was actually doing this all hand. I knew that he is talking about actually my team, customer acquisition and onboarding, because I am responsible for that team. And I've started wondering after such a meeting, after this all hands, I've started wondering if this guy really has bad intentions. Maybe I've started thinking, okay, so he's trying to squeeze us as a lemon, or try to force us to start working more after hours, etc., etc. And I said to myself, no, probably it's not possible actually that he's trying to do this. And it was more problematic for me because I knew that the meeting with my team is waiting for me right after this all hand, right? My name is Jakub Łęgowik, and I am here to tell you the story. It is real story. It is Bumpy 12 months path. Actually, now it is 18 months, because that's how I am in this company. And it is the story how we transformed from mercenaries to missionaries. It is incredible story where we had a possibility to change our approach, learn what is product mindset. We've changed the way how we work, how we are organized internally. And for now, actually, we are recognized for really impressive speed of delivery. And we have very high level of trust in the company level. I don't need to tell you probably that we were not trusted at all during this all hand and in that time, actually, right? And who am I? Maybe I will tell you something about me. So I'm in IT industry 12 years. I started as a software engineer, backend software engineer. I worked on three-dimensional systems for civil engineering. Later, I had a chance to work on IoT systems. If somebody was renting your Lambo in the club with exotic cars, you were alerted about the fact that that person is speeding up too much with your Lambo. Very interesting project. I had a couple of the other episodes with different companies. I had a chance to work on my own startup, something like Uber Eats, but much before Uber Eats started operating. It was called DriveUp. And finally, in 2016, I landed in fintech world. At the beginning, it was traditional one. Now I am I'm connecting the world between traditional finances and crypto world. And since a couple of years, I'm on leadership roles. I'm responsible for building teams, mentoring, coaching them. I'm technical leader and I'm also working as a technical tribe lead. Where I'm working now, it is Zapo Bank. It is not so famous here in Poland because the main target markets are Latin America, South Africa, mostly countries where people have a problem with access to secure banking system. Countries with struggling with hyperinflation, with local problems with currency, etc. We are a bank, fully licensed Bitcoin and USD bank. It is the first bank like this in the world. It is very important. We have fully protected deposits like the other banks in Europe, for example. And You can know the brand Zappo from the past because it was a long time ago, 2011, 12. It was Zappo Vault and Zappo Wallet. On Netflix, you can watch Cryptopia. It is a lot about this episode in Zappo history. And as I said, our mission is to protect people's savings. So security is super important for us. And we implemented during the last couple of years very interesting, actually cool features like replaced Swift with much faster sending money with stable coins. We are operating mostly on dollar, classic dollar, not stable coins, but we are using that for purposes of transferring money, for example. We are using technology to solve problems, right? And as I said, in Zappo, I am now on technical tribe role. It means that I am responsible for more than one teams. And I am working mostly on around customer acquisition, membership onboarding, membership application, and onboarding areas. Those are my areas where I'm working. Okay, so as I said, all hands like this is very painful, probably, right? And you know that at the end of the day, you need to go to your team, talk to them, what happened, why somebody is saying our speed of delivery is poor. And you will for sure start hearing sentences like, they are giving us insane deadlines. They are not giving us clear acceptance criteria. Have you, who met with those sentences in your teams? Okay, I see a couple of people. Okay, so that's very important, that your role as a leader in this case is to challenge the team and try to explain them what was exactly the intention behind that, and try to help them to understand that. And my experience shows me that the best what you can do is to try to redirect this headless chicken run and this complaining, frustration, and all of that stuff in your team into the proper action points, right? This is the very, very important. So I can tell you, I can assure you, I went through this. It is never easy. It will not take 1 month, 2 months. It will take 12 months plus, and it is a very bumpy path. So, so in the internet, for sure, you can find plenty of different definitions of what technology is. On your left side, it is great book Empowered, Marty Kagan. He's explaining that it's a tool for solving people's problems. And that's the role of technology. On the right side, you can see the blog of my friend, my mentor, my coach. I can recommend it because it is giving a lot of very practical advices. And he's also saying about technology, how we should treat technology. And if you try to think what technology does, if you have a problem like we had in Zappo, Swift is operating too slow. Right? During the weekend, it is not fast enough. We wanted to offer something faster. We provided transfers with stable coins, and they are much faster, much more reliable. We solved our customers' problems, our customer problem. The other area is, for example, I don't know, you have a person who wants to travel faster from point A to point B. What you can give to that person? Skateboard. You can, if that person wants to go faster, you can give a motorbike or a car if that person wants to travel faster, right? And more comfortable. That's how it works. You're using technology to solve problem, real problem. And everything what you do needs to bring some value. That's the thing. If a software engineer who is working on some feature coding in day-to-day, if you don't know what kind of problem you're solving, it means that you don't have enough information. If you don't know what the problem is, maybe you are working on the wrong thing. And this is something that took me a couple of years to understand deeply, because in theory, all of us know about that. But deep understanding of this, what exactly it means in day-to-day work, is core here to be much more efficient as a team. And on the next slide, it is sentence. That is, the product company lives not from from coding, but from the product it codes. It's my sentence. I'm saying to my team almost every day. Probably you can find it in the internet because it is not super fancy. Maybe I even found it. I don't know. I don't remember. But I am saying that to my team very, very often. And to understand it better, what meant that we were mercenaries and what meant that we didn't understand the value for the user, I will give you an example. Imagine, as I said, we are a bank, right? Every single bank needs some kind of membership application process, onboarding process, something like this. We're providing mobile application, web application that allows you to onboard to our bank. And imagine that whole process is super, super long, a lot of screens, not consistent, a lot of repetitive questions on different screens in that app. What means that whole that process is error prone, right? And many people are dropping actually somewhere in the middle. And in this story, our PO came to us and he said, okay, let's do the project, which is called asynchronous onboarding. Everybody was super excited. Asynchronous onboarding, amazing. Okay, what is that? Let's jump to coding. And we've started writing code before even he explained what we are going to do. What was worse, we jumped into the solution space immediately, not problem space. And the thing is that we estimated this for a couple of sprints, for 4 sprints. Of course, it was going to take much more because estimations were always wrong. But if one sprint costs 50,000 K per one sprint, 4 sprints means 200,000 K. So it was pretty big investment in our case, but we didn't care at all about that fact because, okay, they will take care about that fact. So we just started writing the code, trying to solve this mythical problem with onboarding. But I've started wondering after some time when I started realizing that we are working as a mercenaries, not missionaries, I've started wondering, okay, so maybe we should, why nobody actually came to us, or we didn't do this, and flip the table and say, okay, whole onboarding was, I don't want to use this word, very ugly, okay? It was, maybe there were some problems, like 50% of users could see something went wrong screen. Possible? Yes, it is possible. But nobody was thinking this way, that maybe whole process should be redesigned. We just started working on asynchronous onboarding. What it means, asynchronous onboarding? It is just a thing that user who dropped in the middle, had some problem, can start from the same point. You don't need to come back to the first point of onboarding. So it was only patch. It was patch. It was not root. It was not solution for the root cause of the problem. Root cause was that people were dropping that should not drop, right? Somehow, and it turned out after some time, of course, that it was caused by technical issues. But as I said, we were focused too much on solution space, not the problem space. And it was a very big problem from our side. And of course, deadline was coming because this mythical being, they said, deadline is the end of the month, do it. Right? It is happening very often. And here, after some time, of course, it required time from me as a technical leader in this team. I started wondering, okay, what things made us doing everything wrong? Or maybe we didn't do wrong, but I didn't know. But those are points that I listed in my notes. And okay, I said, those things are the things that I believe caused this situation. On the next slides, I will explain them a bit deeper. So, first of all, we worked as a feature factory. The best name for us would be feature factory name. Not then the real name of our team is customer acquisition and onboarding team, but feature factory was better at that time, of course. And the other, we work like an internal software house that is doing things that they were that is asked to do so by mythical being they. And after some time, I've started wondering, okay, but why we are saying so often they? They are not giving us clear acceptance criteria. Why they are not giving us designs on time? Why they expect us to do things with insane deadline, right? Who exactly is they? And what is interesting, even Richard Branson, owner of the Virgin Group, was wondering on the same thing. And whenever he hears something like this, he's saying to his employees, "Okay, but explain me who is they? Who is that mythical being entity they?" And this is my son, Timek, 3.5 years old. I don't need to tell you which character he loves most. Not Hulk, probably not Batman, Spider-Man, right? And a couple of days ago, he broken the glass. And I asked him, who broke this glass? And he said, they. Okay, and I said, okay, I came back to those times when I was mercenary, because even my son is saying to me, they. But who is they? Okay, this mythical being they. And he replied to me, of course I asked him, who is they? And he said, Hulk and Spider-Man, I don't have that strength. It was incredible, because I was staying like, they are like this, and maybe my wife told him to say so or something, I didn't know. But this is the thing, who is they? And of course, that time when we were transforming our team, I realized that we should start thinking we. We are the company, we are the team, and we have a common mission in the company. We want to solve customers' problems with technology. That's what we want to do. And I've started mentoring and coaching our team, my team, to think this way. There is no they. We are. And the other point was that we had no product mindset. No product mindset. We were only thinking this way. Output is most important. How many tickets, how many lines of code is delivered. And this is the only thing that is measuring our success. But I don't need to tell you probably that one line of code can change more things and solve more problems than 10,000 lines of codes. It happens. And it is quite common, but we don't talk about that loudly. And I don't need to also tell you that the answer, and this is the real question, why this button has a text answer instead of cancel. That's how it was in designs. Somebody thought that it is from the other company, from my history, of course, but it is the real sentence. And that person thought, because it's different language, probably. Wow. This is also real case. Why this button, this form, doesn't have a proper domain business event sent to amplitude, segment, or some analytical tool, behavioral data? Because it was not in the acceptance criteria, clear, right? But there are some areas that I expect that people in the team will know out of the box, right? And we are not able to check everything, every single engineer that do this way, etc. In 1962, in NSA, President Kennedy was visiting NSA, and he met janitor, and he asked him, "What are you doing here? What is your role? What you are doing here?" And do you know what was the answer of janitor there? Do you know the story? Okay, so this is he said that I'm helping to put a man on the moon. He knew the mission, what was the mission of the whole thing, right? They were trying to put a man on the moon. So for our team, when we worked as a mercenaries, we didn't understand that fact, that we are part of the mission. We tried to change the world by proposing alternate way of protect people's savings using our app, Zappa Bank, right? This is the thing. And we did, as I said, we didn't feel part of the mission. And from my point of view, the team, product team, real cross-functional team, is not responsible for doing things what they are asked for. They need to decide about what to do, how to do, test hypotheses, set hypotheses. Every single idea that you have working as a software engineer is a hypothesis, right? And you need to find the most, not most advanced, but the cheap way to test this hypothesis with real users. And as a software engineers, we have quite abstract way of thinking, and we are very good at finding those ways of testing hypotheses. And when we changed our mindset in the team, we actually, what is interesting, we've started making much more advanced decisions than ever. And one example of such a decision was migrating part of the onboarding from mobile application to the web. Some of you will say, ridiculous, who is doing that, right? We are in the 2023, mobile first. It is the most important to go from the mobile to mobile, not from mobile to the web. But we took into consideration some decision drivers. The biggest leverage on that time when we made this decision was we wanted to optimize for speed of delivery. We wanted to optimize for fast pivoting product. We wanted to find the proper shape of the membership application that will be clear for users, etc. And release train was not so bad because we were doing releases each week. Mobile app, not too often, but the rollout process was killing us. That's why we made a decision to move from from mobile to the web. And now we will go back to the mobile again. Why? Because we have final shape of the product, of the onboarding process. And that's what we are doing. And the next problem I identified was no value for the customer. We didn't think this way. Okay, what our customer feels, what he sees, what he wants. We didn't think this way. And I am not saying that company was not, product team was thinking this way. But I'm saying here and now that every single engineer in the team needs to think this way in the product company. Whatever we do, we need to try to find a way to test some hypothesis. Even there's during networking, I talked with one person, and he told me about the case from Brand24. It is a Polish company for tracking traffic in the internet and some social media posts, etc. How people are talking about your company. And in Brand24, removing the promo code field changed conversion rate, and it was converting much better. How is it possible? We had similar case when we did the field deactivated and only activated when you add checkbox. Our conversion rate increased. How is it possible? It was super simple change, because we understood based on behavioral data we are collecting that people don't know what to put there, and they believed without deactivating that they didn't understand that they don't need to put anything there, and it was optional, right? And this way of thinking, every single engineer should think this way. For now, we are tracking every single click, every single screen that we are showing to the user with Amplitude. It is a tool for tracking behavioral data. And What next? No trust in the company. We're totally not trusted. The fact, the way how we worked, the way how we were not thinking about outcome, but we're thinking only about output, caused the fact that we were not assumed as a trusted team, okay? Because they were saying, okay, they have no good ideas, they are not giving us results. But even bad news, you need to share with on the company level, right? And for us, it was very clear that 100% of projects should come from outside of the team, not from inside. Today, it's totally opposite. It is very hard for me to say how many projects during the last 3 months we did based on the fact that somebody asked us, do this. No, we are collecting knowledge around the company, feedback, etc., and we are trying to figure it out something inside our team. Probably you expect that we are not the best in testing, experimenting, etc. So some of you probably remember those times when you are coding 6 months, later everybody fingers crossed, release, huge package, moved into production, and waiting for the crash. That's standard way how we worked at the beginning. It was classic waterfall. And to be clear, we did it to ourselves. And later, we've decided that we want to change something in this. Now we are releasing every single day, every single hour probably. That's how it worked. Okay, so we worked hard over time. We were doing things right. But we didn't work on the right things. Sounds similar, but it is totally different meaning, right? That's the thing. We were just working a lot, very hard, and when somebody was saying your speed of delivery is poor, maybe intention was to tell you, guys, think if you are working on the right things. That person was not trying to tell us that we are working in a wrong way, we are building features in the wrong way. That's very important to see this. And let's try to think what was 12 months later. And this is also a real case. It was the same group of people, the same team, but totally different approach. Hitesh is one of it is real name. I'm not doing that, what is in documentary movies that I've changed names. Hitesh is a real person. He's coming from India. Imagine the situation that he's preparing his coffee, morning routine. He just ate incredible Indian food for breakfast. He ate ripe, juicy mango for dessert. And he's walking into his computer. And he's sitting and he's looking at the data because it is his habit. Every single developer now in our team, in my team, has this kind of habit. And he's looking at the funnel in amplitude. And he sees 15% drop on phone number verification screen. It is huge because during the one night, phone number verification conversion rate dropped 15%. How is it possible? And I don't need to tell you how we would behave probably 12 months ago. The first thing he would do, boom, panic mode, let's stand up, headless chicken run, running around and trying to figure it out what we will tell to MT when they will come to us and start asking those very hard questions. It is terrible. It was stress level, I don't know, 100%. It was very difficult to do. And in this case, he didn't start panic mode. He just called to the other engineers and he said, guys, okay, we need to brainstorm about this topic. The first thing they did, they eliminated pure technical issue on our side. New Relic, Sentry, CloudWatch, AWS logs, and they checked everything. Nothing was happening there. In theory, everything is good. 12 months ago, no problem, because there is no technical issue. But the thing is that now we changed approach, and they started digging much more this data, behavioral data, funnel, which is how many people reached this step, how many people dropped on this step, etc., etc. What it turned out is that it was found by Roxana and Hugo. Hugo is kind of Terminator for killing bugs and debugging. He's able to solve every single issue that you can find in this world. I don't know how, but he's sleeping. I asked him even last week, do you sleep every day, normally 8 hours? Yes, he said yes, so it's good. And they found out that increase is aligned fully with marketing campaigns when they started working. It is interesting that software engineers, they were aware not only on the code level what is happening with the product, but they were looking around the product, and they realized that campaigns started working. And they assumed, okay, so maybe the problem with this conversion rate drop is caused by the fact that this problem existed before, but it increased significantly because more people were coming to us. And it was fully aligned. They found it in the data about marketing campaigns that it is aligned with Latin America part of the world. And they've started digging more, and they contacted our partner that is responsible for SMS delivery code, and it turned out that SMS delivery is quite poor in this area, and it decreased last couple of days. So they realized, okay, so it's some technical issue outside of our company, and we were not properly alerted, etc. But they've started taking some actions on this topic, and they contacted, of course, with customer service to warn clients about that fact. Hitesh also asked customer service to take care about those people who dropped. So he was thinking about customer first. It was very, very important, right? And later, the same day, they've started thinking, okay, what we can do, how we can solve this problem, right? And they proposed 3 solutions: turn off phone number verification, turn on WhatsApp delivery code through WhatsApp, and the third one option was just to implement the other partner. And what I am trying to do during this transformation, is to let people understand what kind of drivers they need to take into consideration when they are making decisions. What they did, they've started thinking, okay, what is cost of delivery of this? What it will be impact on the user? In which case we need to ask a legal team for approval. For example, changing partner is required, but turning on some option, maybe not. So they found all drivers that were needed to make this decision. And the same day, they had final prepared solution, plan for this solution, and proactively, they reported about this issue to MT. 12 months ago, it was totally opposite. We're never proactively informing about problems like that. And the problem was, within the next couple of days, of course, the problem was solved. So now there is a question, what was different? The same people, the same team, right? But 12 months later, what changed? And here is some factors that I identified with this, and I will talk about them a bit deeper. I will jump deeper into them now. First of all, clear goal. I know that it is a very broad objective, right? But it was for purpose of teaching them how it works. It is an objective that is showing them kind of direction we are going to follow. At the beginning of our transformation, we set clear goal. Take care about the client, super high reliability, etc., etc. And even when we were, what we were doing, we were changing KRs each quarter to focus on different pieces of this objective. And What is interesting, even when we worked on some technical issues, like reducing something went wrong screen, daily affected users, 500 errors, resolving some problem around this, we were just making sure that we are fully aligned with this. If I would ask you here that how many, I don't know, improvements in your systems you can propose now, probably I would hear 100 today. But if I would ask you, align them with the goal I am giving to you, probably 20 of them you will leave on your list. That's the case. That's how it works. And your role as a leader is to teach people how to work with such a goals, with such a objectives, how it is. What I set as my personal goal is to help them to align their personal goals, people's goals, with day-to-day work. So it became side effect of their day-to-day work to achieve those goals. It was very important because this changed the way how they were thinking about that. Sorry. And why it is so important? Because understanding the mission, the goal of the company, what is current focus, during this period of time, our focus was pivoting product, find in the cheapest possible way the final product shape. And that's for what we were optimizing for. But later we said, okay, we have major products, so we want to optimize now for scaling and for growth. So you start thinking about totally different topics. And I was teaching my team to think this way, what was very important for me. And I was educating them in this area, mentoring, coaching, one-on-ones, different presentations in the team, etc. Okay, so habit, as you can see, software engineer found this problem based on behavioral data, right? Because he had a habit. Every single engineer now in our team has a habit to track metrics, track behavioral metrics, etc., etc. We work a lot with funnel. This is an example funnel we have. And even refinement, grooming sessions are with, as a reference point, we have an opened amplitude to track what we need to do. We are looking for the biggest leverages to improve something. It is very, very important for us. And but to work with metrics like this, you need to teach people how to work with metrics. And for example, you don't need to use super sophisticated tools for doing that. I was tracking at the beginning metrics with spreadsheet, and it worked. We started from something simple, probably not the most important, but we were learning to work with metrics. We started from reducing noisy alerts. We reduced noisy alerts from 5,300 to 100 maybe per week in some point. So it was very important for us. And product ownership is the next thing. If you're running Michelin star restaurant, right, and you have a fire in the kitchen, you still need to provide the best quality meal you can to let user go with super happy, etc., etc. It is very important. That's the way how we've started thinking. If you have a problem, for example, with ID verification processing the document, you don't need to always share that information with the user. Create ticket internally for your operational teams. They will handle this case as fast as possible, and the user is going away happy, right? Because he doesn't know how long it takes to process your document. In most cases, it takes a few hours, right? This is also something how software engineers should try to think about the product, about the user, right? And now we are super focused on understanding what user feels, what he wants, how he's going through our application. It is a big part of our work, not only coding, but coding solutions for that. For now, customer is top priority for us. Okay, so empowerment to make decisions. Because of all of that situation, that we lost trust in the company, we got stuck in the situation that we were not empowered to make decisions, autonomous decision as a team, as a cross-functional team, to make some decisions. And we had to prove again that we are ready to do this. I mean, that we have a proper mindset, and we are we are not guessing, but we are measuring things, our outcome, right? And that's what we were doing. We were trying to spend a lot of time understanding how we can share things with people, management team. We've created some kind of channels on the Slack about where we are describing some important issues or important achievements around conversion rate that is growing or dropping, etc. So now we work totally different way in this area, and I can assure you that now we have very high level of trust, and I'm not afraid to say that MT trusts us a lot. And from the team which was on the at the end of the list, and now is very close to the top when we need to work on some strategic projects for the company, because we changed the way how we work. Okay, so one of the last topic is perfection is expensive. It is something what I got to know. This sentence I got to know in Zapo, but the background behind the sentence I got to know when I was trying my own startup, which is called DriveUp. Of course, I failed. It was my story how I was planning to become millionaire, but I didn't. And the thing is that perfection, I always thought that perfection is expensive, means that you need to provide low quality, low security, I don't know, hacks in the code. No, it doesn't mean that. It has much deeper meaning around this topic. And when I was thinking about DriveUp, I said, okay, to myself, we need to prepare a mobile app for the driver, for the customer, for a restaurant, plenty of things. But every single investor was asking us, guys, but you need to prove us that your idea is working. But I said, how should I prove that it is working if I am not able to give you I don't have an application. And after a couple of years, I got to know how top player in the Polish market tested this idea. Exactly the same idea. How? They created mobile app connected to Google spreadsheet, online connection, and somebody on the other side was making a calls to restaurant. And it worked. And it proved that this model of delivering food, because as I said at the beginning, it was like Uber Eats, but it was much before Uber Eats. That's how I failed to become a millionaire, but I have still some time. And that's the case. We were not able to test our idea fast. And I love this picture because this shows perfectly how we should approach building the product. You can try to build the car, but it doesn't mean in the first round you need to provide beautiful car after 6 months, 12 months, or something like this. It is good enough to provide skateboard, to provide bike, to provide motorbike, etc. And that's actually, this is something what we try to follow. What is interesting, even part of our language in the team became this picture. So we say, okay, this is the bike. This is the skateboard. Sometimes even people are saying, okay, it is solution that is a wheel for skateboard. So everybody understand this thinking. That's why we are not trying to find all edge cases of the world now, but we are trying to go to production as fast as possible with some simple solution that is good enough to test hypothesis. And it is very important that even CEO is not the wizard with magic wand that is that knows everything about the world and is able to tell you that every single idea he's giving is good. No, he told us, our CEOs told us, guys, it's 50-50 with everything. It's a bet. And help me, when I'm building the company, help me to test those bets faster. The faster you test bets, the more of them you will be able to test. Now we are testing 5, 6 different ideas around during the sprint. In the past, it was maybe 1 per quarter. If we take into consideration 50,000 K per one sprint cost, quite a lot, right, for testing ideas. That's the thing, trust to your ideas, but you need to find a way how to measure if they are confirming some hypothesis. So, summary, saying poor speed of delivery is not always bad. It's not always a bad intention behind that. To provide value, you don't need to work faster, but smarter. That's the thing. Sometimes you produce less code, but you get better results. 18 months gave us very significant improvements around the company. We improved conversion rate 5 times as a team. We decreased something went wrong screen impacting users daily from 30%. And this was the reason why we worked on this asynchronous onboarding. 30% to less than 1.5. Also, we improved speed of delivery from 4 weeks to 5 days. Of course, it depends on the features we are doing. And many others, of course. So changing the team is one thing, but organization needs to also support those changes and needs to be ready for that change. We use for that team topology. Thank you very much for your attention.